So you kind of talk about the story of when you were at a club and Envy, you basically told her she couldn't go or wasn't allowed to go. Do you still use that type of language around each other? Allowed?
I mean, we were young and we were kids. We were college kids. And the reason we talk about it in the book is because, we also talk about some of the things that I'm not proud of. Like, in this book, when you were talking earlier about reliving these moments, it's very difficult because I don't recognize that person anymore. I was a young kid, I was a teenager at the time. But yeah, I was very controlling, and I wasn't controlling because of anything else but insecurity. As a young kid, I always tell everybody I was DJ Shrimp. I was 5'4". I had glasses, braces, and acne. And I started talking to this beautiful woman, who's very smart, who's caring, who's your dream girl, my dream girl. Yeah. And I got nervous of her going out. I'm like, if she goes out, she's gonna see somebody smarter. She's gonna meet somebody, that looks better than me. She's gonna see somebody that's more established and knows this and knows that, and I'm gonna be left out. So that was my way of controlling her, making sure she stayed in. And that incident that you're talking about, she wanted to go out, and she had something skimpy on, I remember. And I'm like, nah, that's too skimpy. You can't go out with that. She was like, what? I was like, that's too skimpy. And she was like, what? Well, I'm going out. I'm like, all right. So I turn on the shower, I pick her up, and we both go in the shower, but now we can sit back and laugh at it. But back then it was like, this was our toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm. So Gia, what made you kind of disregard the controlling aspect, not disregard, but stay within? And were there any like red flags for you? Did you feel like, okay, this is too much? Like, what made you want to continue in the relationship?
Being pulled into the shower when you're fully dressed and made up, that was clearly a red flag. Yeah. So it was not lost on me that my, at that time, boyfriend was controlling, possessive, and jealous. But aside from that, he was a wonderful person. Mm-hmm. And he poured into our relationship more than I saw other young men pouring into the relationship of my friends. He was kind, he was loving, he was thoughtful, he was affectionate, he was generous, he was complimentary. And I mistook his controlling nature and his possessiveness, as he described, his need for me to be there with him, as being quote unquote crazy in love. It flattered me. And that's not something that I would advise a young woman to be flattered by in this day and age, nor then, but that is how I felt. I felt like he loves me so much that it drives him crazy, that, he does not want me out without him. He does not want me to be in any situations where someone else will approach me. And even though I didn't like being controlled, that was the justification that an immature, unwise, and inexperienced girl like me made at that time. And I thought that I was going to be able to love him out of that, to show him there's no reason to be insecure because I love you and we're in it for the long haul. Because even early on, when we were in college, we knew that we were going to get married, that we were going to buy a house, that we were going to have kids. We had dreams, since we were 15 and 16. But even though he helped me create those dreams, I don't think that he had that much conviction that they were going to materialize.
And Envy, what was that for you that was kind of made you get out of that, in the sense that when you think controlling or insecurities or even things like that, in some situations can be very dark, right? And it can go the other way, but obviously you guys were able to not let it get that far and have a beautiful love and things of the sort. So what was it for you that changed, your way of thinking or your actions to be where you guys are now?
I think it was her pouring into me, making me understand that I was worthy and that she loved me for me and she didn't care what happened. And that was the most comforting thing because, like I said, I've never experienced love, and that's part of the reason why we wrote the book. I never had these type of conversations with anybody. When I go to the barbershop or I talk to my friends, we talk about your favorite basketball player. We talk about what we seen on the Shade Room. But, not one time do we say, yo, me and my girls argued over this, or my girl feels this way. We don't have those conversations. And, just like I do real estate and I see more and more people having real estate conversations, or even with Charlemagne, you see more and more people having mental health conversations. Yeah. This is the conversations that we want to start talking about, that, about family, about problems and how as a community we can solve them. It's like, I didn't have anybody to talk to and be like, yo, I'm feeling this way. But, the only person I can talk to was my wife, my girlfriend at the time. And thank God she was able to pour into me, and we were able to have these conversations and pour love into me and say, no, you are worthy, and to give me that confidence that I needed.
Yes, I love that. And you guys have a chapter called When Protect and Provide Goes Too Far. What is that about exactly?
I think that's part of what you're saying, where it becomes controlling, right? And a lot of people mistake controlling as protecting.
Right.
So like back to what you were saying, yeah, I didn't want Gia to go out, and I would say, yeah, I want you to be safe. I want you to be this, but it really wasn't that. It was more of my insecurities, more of my problems, more of me dealing with me. When it comes to our relationship now, out of everything, it's ill to say, because you want to say, I'm glad I went through everything, because where we are now in our relationship is 1,000 times better. And I don't think we would have got there unless we went through all of BS. So yes, protecting and providing, but really protecting and providing, not just doing it because you're scared your girl's going to go out, or you're scared that this is going to happen, or you're scared that that's going to happen. Like, we are really into making sure I'm safe and making sure she's safe. One thing that I say I love about Gia is, no matter what, she puts her family first. Like, if she's in pain, if she's hurting, and she knows that I'm hurt or one of our kids are hurt, it's almost like she will put that pain to the side and make sure everything is right in that house first. And then she deals with her own pain. And that's one of the definitions of true love. Like you sacrifice yourself for your family members and the people that you actually love.